Hi, y'all. It's Rick here with Uncommon Communion. Happy Friday and good late morning to those of y'all on the East Coast, Eastern time zone, like I am. And just happy day to you wherever you might be. I appreciate your joining me for this brief little reflection. Let us begin as we begin all of these reflections with this statement of reality. Let us remember we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of God and each other. So, in this little reflection, I want to talk briefly about two things that you might want to do as part of your planetary Lenten pilgrimage practice, and then also I want to share about another Meister Eckhart, very short one today that I discovered this morning in my reflection. First, you might have seen that I posted into the notes feature. And if you're not looking at the notes feature, I highly recommend that you take a look at that. You can do that through the Substack homepage once you're signed in, or you can do that through the Substack app. Both of those will let you see the notes and the chat. Because remember, I want to really try to build a community here of like minded folks who are seeking to pursue and experience Lent in a different way. So please use the chat. You can start threads, use the comments in any of these posts, and also please follow along in the notes. So you might have seen just a bit ago, I talked about this last night in my written posts for today, but I just wanted to underscore it a little bit. It is coloring pages. And I talked about mindful coloring as a possibility for a Lenten practice. And I'm offering a couple coloring pages. This one right here is the first one. I hope you can kind of see that okay. I have filled in here the theme that Busted Halo gives to us each day for their Lenten, or excuse me, their Insta Lent challenge. So it has the date and it has the theme for what they are inviting folks to find and to share with others. Today was Meatless Meal, and tomorrow is Female Saint. I also have a link to another coloring page. This one is a little simpler. It has just the dates, and you can see the spiral comes around, leading up to the empty tomb, Easter at the heart of that. So both of these you can access via links in the note that I just posted. You also, if you want to just get the clean, unwritten on pages, I put a link to those as well. And there are a few other Lenten mandalas and other things like that. Second thing is the Lent Madness Bracket Challenge. So I'm going to be writing about this each day. In my written posts, you might notice I'm calling them the Lenten wavelengths, right? The different colors and the different items for reflection and participation. And this is one of them. I know this might not be for everyone, but if it is kind of just a fun way to learn about saints, to get involved, to play along, whatever it might be. And I don't know about y'all, but just like the Super Bowl, I'm looking at March Madness and the brackets and just not interested this year. I often follow along and get excited about that. With a crisis that is unfolding on a daily basis in our nation right now, I just see something like that as a distraction. So I am going to divest my interest from the March Madness brackets, pay attention to these brackets, and also, continue to do my Lenten practices, which includes sharing with you all here. The other thing I wanted to share, and I put again a link to this, is the Pray As You Go website, app, and also podcast. And I cannot speak highly enough of this particular way of praying, this particular way of reflecting. It is just really, really amazing. And if you've not checked it out, I highly, highly recommend that you do so. It is completely free, and I can speak from experience that it is going to get better. The app right now that you can download is pretty good. Um, they are working on an Easter launch of an even better one. And I can speak to that because I am in the beta testing group for that. So I'm getting a head start on that. Um, each day it gives us one of the liturgical readings, and it's mixed with reflective music. It then has a number of questions, reflective Ignatian style questions, and then it ends with an invitation to silent prayer. I love it. I've been listening to this for a long time, and it is what I listen to when I go out and walk my pooch in the morning. So it's a really nice way for me to start my day. I wanted to share with you the reading that is the first liturgical reading today. And you'll hear this on the Pray As You Go app. And this is from the prophet Isaiah. I'm going to skip down a little bit. It's about fasting, and it is the prophet speaking for God about what God is seeking as we fast. So this is God's voice through the prophet Isaiah. Do you call this a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? This, rather, is the fasting that I wish, releasing those bound unjustly, untying the thongs of the yoke, setting free the oppressed, breaking every yoke, sharing your bread with the hungry, sheltering the oppressed and the homeless, clothing the naked when you see them, and not turning your back on your own. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wound shall quickly be healed. Your vindication shall go before you, and the glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry for help, and God will say, Here I am. So, very important. What does God want from us? God wants compassion. God wants kindness. God wants us to be freeing people. And I think this is absolutely vital now, y'all, because the world needs this. The church needs this. I am constantly astounded by the cruelty that we are seeing coming out of this administration that is supported by people who call themselves Christians. It's cruel. We see this every day. And I was reminded of this yesterday. I've been following Jim Acosta here on Substack, and I listened to his live stream yesterday. Had a couple of guests on, and at the end, after he said goodbye to the guests, he had this really impassioned from his gut moment where he talked about the cruelty that he's seeing and a plea for decency and treating humans with dignity. I don't know what his faith tradition is, and he even seemed a little awkward in saying before he said, he believes that every person is a child of God. He sort of qualified that. It seemed a little awkward in using that specific of language. We, though, who are planetary pilgrims on whatever way we follow, whether it's the way of Christ, the way of Buddha, the way of secular humanism, right? Each of those is a pathway that is leading us to the same types of actions, which are compassion and kindness, seeking to release burdens, to free people from whatever yokes, whatever is on top of them, and absolutely not to add to those. So again, y'all, I see, I feel, I believe there is a particular urgency to this practice that we are doing. Because as we do this, as we are walking this pilgrimage for Lent, we are deepening and nourishing ourselves to be ready now for action, and especially to be ready for the big action that I believe is ahead of us. I want to just briefly share before we wrap up another short little prayer from something I shared with you yesterday. This is Meister Eckhart, a little book that you can download if you are a Kindle Unlimited subscriber. And this is just a little reflection. Don't try to find God. Simplify your scattered life and become one in yourself, then God will find you. The rest will follow. And I like that last line, the rest, because it can have two meanings, right? The rest could be peace and serenity and comfort, Sabbath. Also, it can be the rest, meaning everything else we're seeking. Yesterday we were taught, the prayer was about wanting more love, and that's part of the rest that all of us seek. So as we walk this pilgrimage together, let us seek to remove those distractions, declutter, so that we can be present to the God who is with us always and everywhere. Again, y'all, thanks so much for listening. Please share this with others. Subscribe if you haven't. And blessing and good. Be well.